Ebonyi State Police Command has arrested a man identified as Chukwuma Onwe for allegedly selling his 5-day-old baby boy for 1.5 million naira. Onwe, a native of Unwezinyi, Igbeagu in Easy local government area, was apprehended alongside the buyer, Mrs. Chinyere Oguchukwu. Police spokesperson SP Joshua Okandu confirmed the arrest, noting that the suspects were picked up at the Uzugu area of Abakaliki. The baby was recovered safely from the buyer and has now been reunited with his mother, Mrs. Philomena Iroko. According to police findings, Onwe took the baby from his wife under the guise of seeking medical care, but instead sold him to Ugochukwu. He later lied to his wife that the baby had been handed over to his sister for proper care. Okandu stated that both suspects are in custody as investigations continue. He assured the public that the police will ensure justice is served. The incident has sparked outrage in the community, raising concerns about child trafficking networks in the region. Authorities have vowed to intensify efforts to clamp down on such criminal activities. What would make a father pick up his 5-day-old child and trade the child for 1.5 million? Let's talk about it.
We didn't hear what was the reaction of the mother when she was told that her child has been handed over to his sister for proper care. What does that mean? What does proper care mean? A 5-day-old baby should still be suckling. A 6-year-old baby at 13, at 18, at 20, even at 25. I wonder what you would have told my mom, that you have handed me over to somebody to take care of me. And I mean, that was not a discussion. So I would have really wanted the story if the story had told us something about the reaction of the woman, because it's like, how do you tell a woman that her 5-day-old has been handed over to a sister for proper care? Was she at the point of death? I'm talking of the mother that would warrant. I mean, some people even at the point of death would rather have the child by themselves until the last moment. So why are you handing over my daughter to somebody for proper care, no matter who that person is? Taking him to medical care, what ailment was he suffering from? So I would have really wanted to hear the side of the mother's story, to be sure that she's not even an accomplice in this thing, or she's not somehow, even if not directly an accomplice, negligent. Because, I mean, I'm still wondering.
Raises more questions.
Yes, how would you tell a mother, I've handed your 5-day-old to my sister to take care of? What should be your reaction? Like I said, at 13, at 20, you wouldn't have come home to my mom and tell my mom that I have handed him over to go even spend the holidays. So what does that mean? Then to the man, I don't want to believe the stories that will come now that, oh, maybe it's poverty. It is not poverty.
You don't think it's hardship?
I don't think so. Is he poor? Absolutely, he's poor.
Okay.
But I think beyond the material things, he's just not materially poor. He's mentally poor. He is poor in his mind. He is even spiritually poor. He is, in every sense of the word, every way you can think of poverty, the guy is really poor in every sense of the word, poor. And such kind of poverty shouldn't be tolerated in our system. Note, I'm not talking about material poverty. I'm talking about people who are totally poor, who are comprehensively poor, that he can sell his own child. 4.5 million. What was that? Convert it to dollar, you know what you're talking about. So I think he should be prosecuted and properly dealt with. I mean, saying justice should be served is putting it kindly. This kind of person ought not to have a place in society. Unfortunately, he had the privilege to sear a child. I don't want to use the word father. I may sound too harsh, but maybe it would have been better as a sperm donor, just donate it and...
Oh, but we've had women also sell their, actually, personal experience of mine, in an area that I used to reside. You know the small talks that you just hear by your window where someone is saying stuff, and I heard about this little girl just down the close that had actually sold her child. And when I heard the story about that particular lady, she was not around for me to ask to confirm, but she came back after a few, I think maybe about a month, and you know, she was in cahoots with her partner. Didn't think they were married. I think they were just kind of living. And when they got the money for the sale of the baby, they had used it to buy a tricycle. Right, and
you are giving it a baptism name, Keke.
They'd used the money to buy a tricycle, and I think I saw her.
Use the money to buy Keke, please. Let's call it.
And I saw her like a month or so after she was back, and I said, "Where's your baby? I knew you were pregnant for a bit." And she said, "He's not with her." And I'm like, "Where's the child?" Because she's a younger lady, maybe 18. So, and she said, I heard you sold your child. And she was looking at me surprised, like, who's this lady that, you know, normally doesn't talk to anybody. Now, this is becoming a serious problem because this is not an isolated case. I just told you about the one that happened just right in front of my nose. I even spoke to the mother by myself. No good reason. She said the suffering was much, you know, and they thought that if they sold that one baby, I mean, she could still have more children. So they now, you know, moved the money into investing in a tricycle, so they can have...
That shows how poorly the baby was sold, because it was sold by poor parents. I mean, not materially poor. You see, there could be good reasons why a parent or both parents may give up a child for adoption.
Right.
Maybe, you know, the situation around you, that motherly love can even force you to give up a baby for adoption.
Right.
You realize that I can't take care of that child, even in the days of the old. I mean, just a flash of thought now, akin to what Miriam and Moses' mother did, you know, practically giving up the baby Moses for adoption to Pharaoh's daughter. And we have seen it all over Western society. That's because you realize that you can't take care of that baby. That's why I said motherly instinct, the love for that the child. Instead of this child to die, let's hand him over to somebody, or instead of this child to become nothing, let's hand him over or her over to those who can make something good out of his or her life. And when such things happen, this is not usually something the parents, whether it be the mother or the father, you know, goes about celebrating. It's not something they do for pecuniary reasons. The only pecuniary reasons could be that I don't have money to take care of it, not because it's a transaction. Give me some money and take this baby. So I understand that when people give up a child for adoption, and usually those people who do that, because they are right-thinking people, also don't just give it to the highest bidder or the first come first serve. They consider the background of the person. They may even go as far as considering the mental health of the person they are giving the child over, to ensure that the child is properly taken care of, to ensure that the child does not move from fry pan to fire. Yeah, you're moving from me who can take care of you to a worse person. So they do some background check. They even probably take the child to an orphanage home where proper check could be done before the child is handed over and all that. And some even, you know, find a way of keeping in touch with such a child, even from a distance, to ensure that all is well with that child. Then you also have cases where I would even respect somebody who go for surrogacy, I mean, who agree to be a surrogate mother for somebody, you know, carry the baby, or even if you're the rightful mother of that baby, as it were. I mean, I'm talking about the egg is yours and everything, but I'll be an issue. There was an agreement that this child will be handed over to that person. This is even a different thing, even though there may be some legal issue about it. But you know, I'll be an issue. You know, you were not having this baby for you. You're having it for somebody else. Even if money is paid, the money may be, you know, just to help your body recover another, but not in this case of outrightly selling a child because you need the money to invest. Because in that poor thinking, you know, I talked about being comprehensively poor in their thinking. You think that, oh, we can have another child and another child and another child. That's the way. If you have another child, she may also think that, oh, we can still sell this one. Maybe instead of having one keke, we can have two keke, and you know, keep reproducing kekes. And I mean, it's not something you want to hear that somebody did. It's terrible.
Right, now let's talk a little bit about the buyers, because it's like if there are no goods in the market, you won't have people coming over to buy. Why do you think people would rather go through the shortcut of buying this 5-month-old baby, a 5-day-old baby for 1.5 million instead of going through the legal adoption route?
I think there's something wrong with our adoption system in this country. Unfortunately, I don't have all the information about adoption. But if we have a system that, unfortunately, even the poverty we talk about is not just restricted for individuals. We have a system, a society that is largely poor. And people will point out, oh, we have these mineral resources, we have all those things. We have mineral resources, we have all the mineral resources. Yes, we are potentially rich in terms of resources. But the system has somehow remained poor because we have produced poor leaders who, even though they steal all the money, still remain poor in their mind. And it's because of that poverty, that's what leads them to kleptomaniac. They steal things they don't need and keep gathering. But if not, over these days, if you have noticed that people keep preferring this way, there should have been an effort to make people realize that instead of going through this criminal way to get a child, there is a proper way you can have a child that is not biologically yours. Right. Look at our adoption system. What is it in this process that make people not to approach this thing? Could it be ignorance? So can we create an awareness, more awareness, let people know that if you don't have a child, you can rightly adopt a child? Maybe can we even talk to these people go to, because, if a couple who don't have a child, maybe would have even approached a medical personnel to run a check on us, what is wrong with us, cancer and all that. Can we even start with this medical personnel, let the medical, please, if people come to you and they have issues of child, please help them understand that they can adopt a child and it is better to go to this process. So I think our system has not been able to, look at this thing very well. Why is this trending? It's not enough to arrest these people and prosecute them. That's good, very, very good to arrest and prosecute them for doing that. But how do we stop this thing? Why do people prefer this way than the normal process of adoption? Even in terms of, there are so many things around this human transactional thing. You see people who would rather pay somebody to have a child for them when, not that they are donating a sperm or an egg. They just want to. Why do people really want to? Why do I want to pretend I have a child when I don't have a child? Why do I want? What's this about pretending you're pregnant when you're not pregnant? Then after 9 months, you show up and say you had a baby when you didn't have.
Don't you think people are succumbing to the pressure of society?
Absolutely. That's the reason I say we should actually, there are some things we should look about and ask ourselves a thorough question. What is wrong? Is there anything wrong in our adoption system? Is there anything we can do to make it easier for people to go through the legal process and adopting them? Why not easier may not necessarily mean compromising the standard. We can have the standard to ensure that those who take such children actually take care of them and also need them for the right purpose. But can we make it easier for people? Can we have a way of discouraging people instead of waiting for this crime to be committed and we arrest? Can we find a way of making people know that there is no need going through this route? It's easier for you to go through the adoption process. Maybe can we even introduce a medical system that makes people know that, okay, the child you want to adopt, we can help you run a test to ensure that it's healthy. Why the one you buy from the street may not have all those, I just think there is something we should do about our adoption system to make it attractive to parents who want or would be parents who need a child and can't biologically have one, than just allowing everybody go through this market and it keeps thriving and some people keep making money on it. Because beyond the legal thing, it's not moral that humans are put up on the shelf for sale, like as if they were some goods. So I think the authorities should just look around our adoption system, if there is anything we can do to make it easier and help people also understand that there is a better option